Good afternoon, everyone. This is Lucas DeSalpin from Clean Fuels, Ohio. I'm happy to present to you the June webinar from the NGV Partnership webinar series on renewable natural gas. This presentation will be presented by Mr. Mel Kurtz from Quasar Energy Group. I'm happy to have him on board, and we appreciate his participation. We will go ahead and take questions at the end. I will be monitoring the questions box throughout the presentation, so if there's a pertinent question to a specific slide, I will interrupt Mel and get that question to him. Otherwise, we'll take them at the end. And without any further ado, I would like to introduce Mel Kurtz of Quasar Energy Group. You there, Mel?
Hi, everyone. Thanks for letting us participate. Hear me, Lucas?
Yep.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Sure can.
For some reason, my headphones didn't work. Okay. Thanks for letting us participate. Quasar is excited about the opportunity of exhibiting some of the successes we've had in trying to help build an industry for compressed natural gas vehicles, fueling stations, and all the related. If it's okay with you, we'll just fire up and see where we go.
Go to town.
I'm not sure. You don't see our screen, do you?
It's currently a black screen, so there you go. Now we see the presentation itself.
Okay.
Oh, there.
There you go. Looks good.
All right, great. Quasar was founded several years ago, so let's say 7 years ago, and the objective was to get control of variable expenses related to processing organic residuals. That would be sewage sludge, fat soils and grease, industrial feedstocks, and off-spec beverages and animal feedstocks. As you can see from the attached slide, that we're predominantly located in Ohio. Our offices, engineering, laboratory, and sales efforts come out of Ohio. However, we have operations now in New York and Massachusetts as well. Okay, what do we like to do? This is a recent, this is just within the last 30 days interview, I guess it was done by Motor Week, and this might help people better understand what we're doing. It'll sure explain it better than I would.
Every family, farm animal, and food processing plant in America produces organic waste that creates a mix of methane, CO2, and other elements called biogas when it decomposes. Rotten vegetables, moldy bread, last night's leftovers, they all break down when our garbage gets to the landfill. Incredibly, for years, the majority of these gases have been simply vented into the atmosphere or flared off to get rid of them. But biogas can easily be converted into clean natural gas and used for generating electricity, heat, or transportation fuel. And a growing number of forward-thinking projects are doing just that. Thousands of U.S. landfills, both active and long closed, are producing biogas in significant volume. For decades, Waste Management, the nation's largest recycler, has been capturing landfill gas to generate both electricity and fuel at over 100 locations. This landfill in Livermore, California, takes in 3,500 tons of waste a day, but also recovers enough gas to power 300 refuse vehicles. Organic materials can account for up to 60% of the landfill's intake, but diverting biomass elsewhere to produce energy can have immediate results. Quasar Energy, an Ohio-based waste-to-energy company, has developed an innovative anaerobic digestion system that breaks down organic materials such as food processing waste, sewage, grease, fats, and oils to make renewable natural gas, as well as a natural soil conditioner to replace chemical fertilizers. Everything from expired potato chips to off-spec dog food has energy value and no longer gets thrown away as trash. This facility in Columbus, Ohio, takes in 10 to 12 truckloads of biosolids each day. The material is pumped into large oxygen-free silos where microorganisms break down the waste and release biogas. This site alone produces about 3,600 gasoline gallon equivalents of natural gas each day, enough to generate its own electrical power and routinely fuel 30 trucks at its on-site CNG fueling station. Quasar is looking to install digester systems on-site at food processors, wastewater treatment plants, or farms to reduce trucking costs and return the energy right back to its source. This model mimics a long-standing practice in Germany, where in a space the size of Montana, local farm co-ops have built more than 6,000 gas and fertilizer-producing digesters. But there are 8,000 dairy or swine farms in the U.S., large enough to support digester operations of their own. One example, Indiana's Fair Oaks Farm, harnessing the renewable energy output from 30,000 cows. Manure is processed and fed into this 18-foot deep underground anaerobic tank. The resulting biogas is used for local power generation and yields enough CNG to fuel its fleet of 42 milk delivery trucks, displacing 2 million gallons of diesel fuel each year. So we can recycle and reuse and maintain a renewable energy from what was a waste. And so we're not using food for fuel. We're not putting up things that people have objections to. We're taking things that people have objection to and actually using it in a way to produce renewable energy. It's very exciting. The importance of producing and using energy locally cannot be overlooked. Renewable fuels could potentially displace 10 million gallons of oil annually. And that will certainly move us towards a clean driving future.
Okay, so I hope everybody enjoyed it. And Lucas, you wake up. The slide you see is an indication of the CNG fueling stations that are in existence in Ohio now. For the record, we have 3 public fueling stations and 1 private. We have 9 digesters in Ohio. We're building several more as we speak, and each of those digesters in time should also be dispensing CNG, because 20, I think the slide says 25, but we're at 29 vehicles now of our own company vehicles that are now using CNG. And our transportation cost for a vehicle that you see in front of you has been reduced by $11 per hour as a result of the fuel change. The Columbus facility is most of the pictures, because that's where the fella came for Motor Week, but we're taken at that Columbus facility. We have 20-year contracts with the city of Columbus, and we have contracts with companies like Anheuser-Busch and a bunch of food producers, fat, oils, and grease companies. And if, as the saying says, if you build it, they will come. As a result of that construction, we are presently planning on doubling the size of the facility, and construction should. It's 3 times bigger than we normally build, but we did it because of the research and development activities on that Worcester campus of OERDC. In addition to Ohio State, USDA has an office at that facility, and some of you may know that they have approximately 5,000 acres that ATI, Agricultural Technical Institute, also farms as a means of educating the wannabe agricultural groups that attend that 2-year college. This is our Zanesville facility. It's on 120 acres campus, that acreage that you see behind it. And this facility was tripled. The original facility has the 2 tanks and the small black roof and, behind the building. The digester to the right is a 2.5 million gallon digester. To give you perspective, that's a tandem dump truck next to it. We did that last year, and then we had another collaborative effort with Ohio State University, which is the rectangular building with the small, sorry about that. Well, technology, with the small black roof. And then we are experimenting with some different compost technologies using material that we call Q-Bio. Lucas, for your benefit, Q means quasar. I met Lucas for the first time yesterday, everyone. I just need to have a little fun with him. To the left, you'll see a small green of the screen, middle of the screen left, you'll see a light green structure. And behind that structure is our fueling station. And that fueling station is one of two certified RINs facilities we have in Ohio. I think it's probably one of a half a dozen nationwide that are been certified RINs producers. This facility, like Columbus, with the expansion, is probably closer to 4,000 GGE. I know on the screen it says 1,800, but with the addition of the big tank, we're probably north of 4,000 gallons. Clean Fuels Ohio was a collaborator on this initiative. They helped us fund the gas upgrade technology and the installation of the fueling station, which presently consists of two 25-horse compressors, and it is a public facility. I don't know, Lucas, if you have anything else you want to address while we're on that photo.
Nope, I think we're all set. I think you've covered it, and we appreciate the shout out.
Yeah, good. This is the facility that was opened up in, I think, January. It's brand new. It's a collaboration with Ringler Farm. They're the largest pork producer in Ohio. And great partners, great partners. They operate, I'm going to say 40 trucks. Yeah, I see it on the screen. 40 trucks. Some of them have already been converted to operate on CNG. And the next step in our progress for this initiative is to put in a gas upgrade technology, taking the biogas to biomethane, and then compressing for use in their own trucks. The pork producers are in a unique, favorable circumstance in that they contract with producers of organic residuals that can be fed to their hogs that reduces the cost of their feed, and they get paid to take it. Unfortunately, if they don't need it for feed, they didn't have an option for processing it. So the addition of the digester allowed them to contract for more feed so that they can have a perpetual opportunity to reduce their cost, and when they don't need it, it can be turned into energy, just as, sorry about this, you guys, just as the hog manure is fed to the digester daily, actually hourly, and we're producing gas and electric. This is a similar initiative on our part. I mean, Ringler is actually emulating what we did and with regard to converting the vehicles to CNG. These vehicles we converted in-house. We wanted to learn what it would take to accomplish it, so we did it in-house. These vehicles have 42 gallons of gas equivalent storage, and that the reason it's only 42 gallons is because of our strategically located fueling stations. We can pick up and drop off and fuel up at will. This goes back to the story with the Renewable Fuel Standard Program. We are a certified RINs generator, and the program has a significant impact on the cost of fuel. There's a stipend provided by the federal government. Most of you, I'm sure, know that, and that makes it very, very competitive. competitive. The numbers I've heard on the street is that the cost to produce from Utica and Marcellus is about $3 an MMBTU, and I've heard others say that the cost to produce MMBTU per MMBTU for a quasar or other digesters is approximately half. I'd say that's a very conservative estimate. So the way we did our upgrade is we have, of course, we generate a lot of biogas, and the biogas requires two things prior to compression. Three things. One is take the H2S out, clean the gas. Second is dry the gas, and then the third function is to separate the gas, the methane from the CO2. And if it pops up again, that means Caroline's going to owe me a beer. But we've accomplished that by collaborating with Air Products. On these two screens, the bottom two slides on the right, you'll see the blue, and then you'll see their aluminum cylinders. Those cylinders are actually membranes, hollow fiber membranes that allow the CO2 to permeate through faster because the molecular size is smaller, and the H2S is the retentate. That'd be our product gas. And these systems are available. We just haven't been aggressive in marketing them because we're too busy building our plants. But that's going to change. By the end of this year, we should have a marketing initiative on the gas upgrade systems that we're proud of. Anybody that's in the CNG industry understands that there's significant benefits, not just from a monetary standpoint, but from an ecological standpoint. And these are numbers that are available from DOE or US EPA and others that indicate the significant improvements versus diesel or gasoline in some cases in the marketplace. I think that's it we have. Something else. That's just an ad for Quasar. We have, like I said, 29 vehicles now. We've converted most of them in-house. Recently, we've started subcontracting. The local vendor that does it is CNG One here in Twinsburg, Ohio, and they're doing a great job as well. So with that, questions, comments, no criticisms, and then we'll be done. Okay.
Great. Thanks a lot, Mel. It's much appreciated. One question that we do have is we were curious if there are any other quasar facilities that are in the works or planning to be in the works here in the next year or so.
Yeah, we're presently, we're slated to increase, to build in Belmont County, Lucas County, I don't know the county, but Dayton, Ohio. There's another one. So we're under construction right now, a second facility in Worcester, and another facility is in Barberton, Ohio, as we speak. That's in the Ohio additional facilities. And some of those will likely have CNG gas, CNG upgrade and public fueling stations from the get-go. I don't know off the top of my head what they are.
Great. Well, that's excellent to know. All right, well, I will go ahead and wait another moment here. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to type them into the question box in your panel, and we'll just hold a minute here to see if anyone else has any other thoughts. Thanks again, Mel, for your participation. We're glad to have you.
Thanks, Lucas. By the way, you guys did great yesterday, and the feedback from the meeting was very favorable.
Excellent. Much appreciated. We've got another question here. The question is, what is the cost of the cleanup process per gallon?
Wow. I can't answer that question. It's not that I don't want to. I can tell you that the system that we designed is predicated on 300 CFM. The 300 CFM would be divided by about 1/3 CO2 and other, and 2/3 methane content. And the system that we have is approximately $800,000 and can be delivered in, let's say, 4 months. The reason I can't answer that is because we make electricity as well as CNG. And the electric is made first, the residual gas goes for gas upgrade, and in theory, any gas that we can't use for either the aforementioned would go into the pipeline and sold that way. I can tell you that we are approved for distribution anywhere on Dominion's pipeline with our gas upgrade technology.
Great. Excellent. Got another question for you. Does Quasar plan on expanding into any other states?
Yes, but slowly. We have 2 facilities that are coming online in New York in the next month. One this month, one next month, located in Niagara and Buffalo, New York. We have a partner facility in Massachusetts, but we have a bunch. To say that there's 24 in the pipeline is probably not an exaggeration. Whether they come to fruition depends on a lot of factors, primarily funding if it's not a Quasar facility. But for the record, Quasar has an equity interest in every facility, and we will require that because the industry is too important to fail, and we don't want to lose control of the operating, monitoring requirements of these facilities. You know, it's building an industry, and the industry is immature in that a lot of the components that others are using are still imported, while 99% of the components to build a Quasar facility are in the U.S., and probably 80% of it is in Ohio proper. Our in-house engineering team designs everything and makes changes to stuff that we buy that are produced by others. Some of the components, mixers and so forth, are designed and we build, and others, like I said, we've taken the best available technology from Europe, we've Americanized it, and now it's produced here. We also, and I didn't say it, but it's important, when you go from biogas to biomethane and you're processing maybe as many as 30 different substrates in a day at these plants, you have to have your own lab. And our lab is also located on the Worcester campus, Ohio State, and we have over $1 million in equipment in it. We partner in that lab with Ohio State personnel, and in fact we have several interns that work with us on a regular basis, and then we have peer review and third-party verification from Ohio State professors, and we do that intentionally because if we make a mistake, we want to know it fast, and we want to be able to deal with it accurately. So the lab, the engineering on the campus, as well as the digester I showed you in Worcester, it makes it a big plus for us to try and ensure that we're doing things right.
Great. Yeah, that's excellent, Mel. And we certainly hope that Quasar expands much further than just Ohio and New York. So have a few more questions here stacking up. One question is, what percentage of the total cost is transportation of feedstock for the digesters, and do you track the energy input there?
Yeah, of course. In fact, that's part of the RFS2 program. The Ryn Certification requires that some feedstocks are eligible and others are not. So yes, absolutely. You have to track the feedstock, the conversion rate, the volatile destruction, and so forth. So, and that's
You there, Mel? I think you cut out here for a second.
Hello?
Hey, Mel. We got you. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. That was probably say all day that was missed. The RFS2 and the Ryn certification requires that the feedstocks that you're processing be confirmed in the process so that what's eligible is considered, what's ineligible is excluded from the biomethane generation. So did you get that part? Did you understand that part, Lucas? Because I don't know where it cut out.
Yeah, I've got you there. I do understand you. Just a follow-up there. I guess the question was if you know the total percentage or the percentage of the total cost of transportation. I'm not sure if that's something you know off the top of your head, but that was what the
yeah, I would say that the transportation, remember, it's probably different for us than a lot of other companies because we do most of it in-house, and we probably have, I'd say 70% of the feedstock is managed with our own trucks, our own equipment, or our broker trucks. I would say we're just between 15-20%.
Great, thank you. Another couple questions here. The question is, are these kind of projects applicable to smaller, less populated rural areas with limited pipeline access?
Well, when we look for a facility, a location to site a facility, it's predicated first on biomass, the volume, the quality of the biomass, and the alternative to processing with digester. So it would be how much biomass, and the second would be what would be the option for the processing. In other words, we'd start with landfill, then it would be incinerators, and then it would be some kind of chemical treatment when available. So it all depends on biomass. So if it's rural and there's enough volume, great. If it's rural and there's no volume, why bother?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it does come down to the volume there and the amount of biogas accessible. So last question here that we've got for you is, what estimates do you use for the amount of biogas generated per ton of food scraps going into anaerobic digestion?
It's a good question, but it's impossible to confirm because if you take certain food waste and oils, fats, oils, greases generate different amounts of energy. And the second is that the conversion timetable is different. In other words, long-chain carbon fibers could take 40 days. Our typical retention time is 18. Therefore, we're looking for substrates that will be converted quickly because the significant part of our revenue is, frankly, tip fees. It is not electricity, and as the market for the customer base for CNG increases, that will be the largest revenue stream. But to whoever wants to know the answer to the question, I mean, there's lots of information. We generally use 10 cubic feet, I think, per pound of volatile solids would be an appropriate number for most substrate that would be digested.
Great. Awesome. Thank you again, Mel. That's all the questions we have. And with that, I will go ahead and switch over and grab the presenter roll back from you, Mel. Thank you very much.
You bet.
All righty. So thank you again, everyone, for participating. Save the date. Well, we don't actually have the date yet, so registration information and a date will be forthcoming for next month's webinar on CNG cylinder technologies. We will again have a great guest presenter joining us from the industry to speak about that. We really appreciate the participation, and we're looking forward to the next webinar. So please feel free to give the Clean Fuels Ohio office a call if you have any questions. The number is 614-884-7336. And thanks again for your time, everyone. Have a great day.